My name is Hobbsy and welcome to the Happiness Fighters Army, an army where we fight for our happiness, our dreams, our successes, even our health to a degree against our own version of our own darkness, be physical, mental, life situations, or just the big nasty dark world right now. And as you can hear in my voice, it sounds congested and croaky. It's because I'm fighting my own battle right now with my own darkness of being sick. I've either caught some cold or flu bug or my bronchitis asthma has gone backwards. It's one of those two. But I wasn't going to let this darkness stop me from making my predictions about WWE WrestleMania 42. The thing that has been helping me stay happy during this sickness bug time that I've been going through these last couple of days. So while it might not be as energetic as some of my past videos, I will still give my predictions on what's going to go down at WrestleMania 42, what I think go down, any surprise returns, anything and everything about WrestleMania 42. And I want to apologize to the viewers now that if I sneeze, cough, sniffle during this, or even take mouthfuls of water, I'm sorry, but I just have to do it that way. Otherwise, I won't be able to do it properly. So with that, let's get on with the video, shall we? Before we get on any further with this video, I just want to show you guys my new WWE merch wall. Yes, I finally set up the brilliant WWE wall that I've always wanted and background. And we have programs from events I've been at. I didn't go to Crown Jewel last year. I went to the Super Show, but I got a program from that event. Then we have under the Joy Rock, fellow Happiness Fighter Army members, Big Time Bex, Becky Lynch's book, Becky Lynch, The Man, Not Your Average Girl. If you have not read it, go read it. Go get a copy, go read it. Listen to it on Spotify. I don't care. I highly recommend. I've read it. I'm going to probably in the next couple of months listen to it on Spotify now that your girl finally came and got Spotify. And yeah, highly recommend read or listen to it. Then we have fellow Happiness Fighter Army member Rhea Ripley drink bottle that I got for my birthday last year underneath it. And then behind me we've got my art boxes that I've created. My Elimination Chamber one with the tickets that from the plane ride that I went on to Elimination Chamber back in 2024. As if it's been 2 years since that happened. Time flies when you're having fun. Then we have my first light box, my fellow Happiness Fighter Army member, Big Time Bex, Becky Lynch art box that I made. And what it says on it is, keep fighting for your happiness and dreams. If I can do it, you can do it. It keeps me motivated, and I look at this every morning and it just keeps me motivated for my fight against my own darkness and for that Ultimate Dream Championship / Ultimate Dream to meet her one day in the real world. Then underneath of that, we have the belts from taking on my rivals in WWE Skit Series, the Undisputed Commerce Championship, and then the World Happiness Championship. I'm hoping to add that Ultimate Dream Championship to this collection when it happens. And that Ultimate Dream Championship is meeting, like I said, fellow Happiness Fighter Army member, Big Time Becky Lynch in the real world. I'm not getting it until I've met her. I want to get Ashley Belt and get her to sign the back of it, and that will become the Ultimate Dream Championship. I may decorate it, but yeah, we're not worrying about that until we've met her or we've had a chance to meet her. So yeah, that's my WWE merch wall. And this will be the background for upcoming prediction videos for wrestling events in the future. Speaking about WrestleMania 42, I want to quickly talk about my skit series, which is taking my rivals in WWE Skit Series. that I write, film, produce, edit all by myself and post on my socials. I am proud to announce that this WrestleMania 42, we have not one, but 2 matches going out. And the first match is Karma versus Love for the Undisputed Confidence Championship in a Love Chamber match. Now, if you haven't been following this series, go follow it back. But basically, in a nutshell, Love has turned to the dark side, broken up with Karma, her ex, but Karma doesn't see that that's the true love. It's the darkness taking over her, and she challenged her aunt Desasia to make a match between her and her ex at WrestleMania, and if Karma wins, she gets the title, plus her love bunny love back to the way she was. If not, then Karma becomes Desasia's personal slave, and she gets her karmic magic that she needs at the moment. Speaking about Desasia won this year's Royal Rumble, and she will take on former double champion Hobbsy for the World Happiness Championship at WrestleMania 42. After winning the Royal Rumble, she chose Hobbsy, and there is a secret agenda why she wants to take on Hobbsy, but I won't tell you guys. I'll let you guys work it out for yourself and watch it on all my socials, but yeah. So, I want to know in the comments, who do you think is going to win at WrestleMania 42? Will Karma get her love back? Or will love conquer all? And will Desasia finally seal Hobbsy's fate? Or will Hobbsy's fate be rewritten? Let me know in the comments. Now that we got that out of the way, let's move on to the predictions for WWE WrestleMania 42, shall we? Now, I'm going to go from night 1 to night 2, and I'm going to start with the first hour matches, and then go to the main event, same with night 2, and then I'm going to do a recap of any surprise elements that I could see happening if I haven't mentioned them in matches. So with that, let's get on with the predictions, shall we? Now, it was announced that ESPN will air first hour of WrestleMania, which is the first 2 matches, on the ESPN app, or on ESPN in the US. For us international fans, you don't have to worry. They are going to all be aired on Netflix of your country. Mine is Netflix Australia and New Zealand. So I'm glad that's happening. Otherwise, I would have been pissed off. Now, we'll start with the first match, and that is the 6-man tag match with the Usos, Yee, and LA Knight, yeah, versus the, I'll say, low-key version of the Vision of Logan Paul and Austin Theory, and their tag team partner of IShowSpeed, which is cursed by Danhausen, which, by the way, I love Danhausen. So, my predictions is that Team Yeet Yeah, as I'm going to call it, is going to win this match because of IShowSpeed's curse, and then the Vision is going to beat up on IShowSpeed and turn it back on him. And that will be part of his curse as well. But I think what should have happened is, which this could still happen, like with any other of the matches that are being announced for WrestleMania, could change between when this video comes out and WrestleMania, that this match between Team Yeet Yeah and the Vision and IShowSpeed should have been for the tag team titles. Because bar the women's tag team titles, none of the tag team titles are being defended at WrestleMania. I reckon they should have had whichever team wins gets the tag team title. For example, if Logan Paul and Austin Theory won, they keep the titles. If the Usos won, then they get the title. And I understand this is probably a last-minute match put together because of the whole injury of the actual Vision members in my eyes. Big Bronson Reed, the Tribal Thief, and Bron Breakker getting injured. But I reckon my suggestion would have made this match more interesting. But you never know, Bron Breakker or Bronson Reed could come back and be like, attack them and cost them the match and sets up something. But yeah, I'm gonna call it. Team Yeah is gonna take the victory in this match. Now we move on to the second match in that first hour, and that is Drew McIntyre versus Jacob Fatu in an unsanctioned match. Now, I wanted this match to be Hell in a Cell, I really did, but I'll take an unsanctioned match. And I can't pick a winner between these two. Both have their good points, bad points. So my prediction for this is someone is going to bleed by the end of this match. That's my prediction. I'm just going to enjoy the match. And yeah. Now we'll move on to the next match, and that is the Women's Tag Team Championship Fatal 4-Way match between the teams of Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, Lash Legend and Nia Jax, Bayley and Lyra, and the Bella Twins, Brie and Nikki Bella. Now, I wanted this to be a ladder match, and they could have added a fifth member. They might still do that, like a fifth team, as a surprise on the night. But I will take a Fatal 4-Way. It could become a Fatal 5-Way, but I will take what they're giving us. And I'm gonna say this, I'm really liking Lash and Nia together. They really were. It's what they both needed from each other. I'm so glad to see the Bellas back as someone that grew up watching them. Now, I didn't really like Diva era, but these two I really liked from that era, so I give them their props. And Charlotte and Alexa, they just work well together, and I feel like this team is bringing the best out of Charlotte right now. I really do. I think she's the happiest she's ever been, and we can see it from us fans. And then lastly, we have Bayley and Lyra, and I'm going to say it. They are the female version of the Rockettes, with Shawn Michaels and Marinati Jannetty. Like, they're the female version of that for me. After watching all past WrestleManias before filming this video, that's why I see them as. Now, my predictions look... Sorry, I had to... having trouble breathing a little bit. Now, my predictions on who's going to win this match, I have two strong contenders. And they are the Bella Twins, because they never won those titles because they weren't around when they were in wrestling back in the day. So I could see them winning it and having that, like, last piece puzzle moment for them. But then I also could see Lyra and Bayley winning it. After last year, Bayley being taken out by Becky and not having her WrestleMania moment, this could be a great WrestleMania redemption story for Bayley and Lyra. And it would be a great way to set them up as a great tag team as well. Yeah, so they're my two top contenders. I just can't pick between the two of them. Like, I'm happy either way, but, like, I'm leaning a little, like, maybe 1% more towards Bayley and Lyra, just because I want to see Bayley's redemption, but I could also see the Bellas winning this as well. So it's between those two. I keep going back and forth. Now, with Charlotte and Alexa, they could do the breakdown, but they could just keep them together, and then whoever wins, they go after it. Lash and Nia, well, same thing, but like I said, it's either between what I'm going to call the female Rockettes are Bayley and Lara and the Bella Twins for me. I just can't pick one over the other. I keep going back and forth each day. And so, that's my predictions on that match. Now we are going to move into not one, not two, but the 3 Filler Happiness Fighter Army members matches that are on night 1 of WrestleMania. Now we'll start with Stephanie Vecchia versus Liv Morgan for the Women's World Championship. And I am saying this, I love Stephanie. She's really good. But I think she's had it long enough. I think it's time for her to move on to something else. And do something else. Like she could fight for another title. And that's why I'm going for Liv Morgan for the win. She is one of our newest Happiness Fighter Army members with her friend Raquel. After listening to her episode on Stephanie's podcast with her, I decided she has to be a member from what she's gone through and overcome. And so Liv, I'm rooting for you. I think it would be a really good moment for you to have that. Also, I really like your new theme music or music that's come out just before WrestleMania. So I can't wait to hear that at WrestleMania be played. And what could happen after WrestleMania for Liv is that Raquel, your bestie, who is actually a fellow Happiness member as well, because of her skin battle and her mental health with that, I just made her a member because of that reason. And she's probably had her own struggles in life as well. But I see at Backlash, Raquel and Liv going at it for that title, because we could set up a scenario where Raquel helps Liv win and Liv's like, no, I'm not going to give you a shot. I run on my own. But then Raquel's like, no, I helped you, sort of thing. If it's not Raquel, it's going to be Roxanne. One of those two are going to go after Liv after Mania, in my eyes. And that's why I think Liv's going to win as well. So, plus, gold looks good on Liv. Let's just say it. So, that's my thoughts on that match. Now we'll move on to fellow Happiness Fighter Army member Seth freaking Rollins versus Gunther. Now, I think this was a last-minute thrown match together because of the whole injury with the bronze as well. But I understand it. It makes sense. Gunther thinks that Seth's not as good. And now that Gunther said to Paul Heyman, you owe me a favor, it could set up him versus Brock later on in the year. But, there's no way Seth's going to tap out to Gunther. He's Seth freaking Rollins. He's the visionary god. He's the one that started the vision. That's why I call him the visionary god. Gods can't die, man. And, I was thinking that the storyline would be that Gunther wanted to retire Seth, and that's why they sort of thing, but I think they went the other way because I don't think Seth is ready to retire yet. So, Seth freaking Rollins winning. And speaking about Seth freaking Rollins, we have his hot wife and fellow Happiness Fighter Army member, big time Becky Lynch, going after. See, this is what I mean by I'm sick. We have her going after Absolute Joke Lee for her IC championship that she never lost. I don't care what people say. Becky never lost that title. She never tapped out. She's proven it on the internet. And that's why she's going to retain it at WrestleMania. She's not going to tap out again. She's going to make Absolute Joke Lee tap out to this summer. I'm calling it. And that's how she'll get the title back. But if not, I could see them doing the Crash Out Becky mode. I could, and maybe she could finally get that lawsuit played out on TV. But this also plays into a theory of mine that I'll talk about in a minute with the main event match for night 1. But also, if they want to have someone help Becky win the title, like in a cheaty way, there is 2 people I could see happening. One is not even in the company as far as we know anymore, but is in Las Vegas this weekend doing her podcast, Rule Breakers, and that is WWE Paige / Saraya, whatever you like to call her. I think her return would be so epic, even if it's on commentary like she did a couple years ago. I think a couple years, maybe. At one WrestleMania, she did a commentary gig. Even if it's like that or in a special guest referee sort of thing. I think this match needs something else as well. It just can't be a normal match between these 2, but then I get why they would do it if someone is going to come in and interfere. But yeah, you could have her, and then you could have her and Becky team up together. Or you could just have her versus AJ Lee again. Saraya. So yeah, that's one person. The other person is Natty. I think this could set up a really great intercontinental championship match between Natty of this version right now versus big time Becky Lynch. Maybe at SummerSlam, maybe at Backlash. I think they could do it. And the way they could do it is simple. They have Natty come out either while the ref's back's turned, or she's a special guest referee for some reason, and she attacks AJ Lee and everyone thinks that she's helping Becky, she's teaming with Becky, but then after the match, once Becky's won the title, she attacks Becky, and then the whole premise of this is, well, I only took out AJ Lee so then I could face you for the title, sort of thing. But yeah, there's multiple endings to this match I could see happening. It's just which one they're going to pick with. But in all of them, bar one, I see big time Becky Lynch getting back what's rightfully hers and ending the corruption and injustice. So yeah. Now, speaking about corruption and injustice, we're going to talk about the main event of night 1 of WrestleMania 42, and that is Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton for the Undisputed Championship match. Now, I'm trying to keep an open mind why this is the main event of night 1. I really am. But a little bit of me is like a little bit annoyed that this is night 1. But I'm trying to keep an open mind. And I want to iterate before I go any further. I am a Cody Rhodes girl. I love Cody Rhodes. I really do. But as an OG Randy Orton fan, I'm going Randy Orton for the win. Randy Orton is going to get that number 15, and it's going to be epic, and it's going to start something even epicer from his victory. Now, we know Pat McAfee has been revealed as the voice that has been in Randy's ear, making him turn heelish, say, or as I like to call it, Apex Viper mode. And that makes sense in my eyes. Because they could be doing a whole TKO versus WWE feud played out on TV, as the rumors have been going around that TKO and WWE have been having frustrations in creative areas. And I think everyone behind the scenes is on board with this. I really do, because I was watching Cody's podcast with Triple H on it probably a week ago now, and he was talking about that moment where Cody smashed Triple H's throne with his sledgehammer when he wasn't in the company, and Cody was like, "Are you mad about it?" sort of thing, and Triple H is like, "Not really." Like, he was impressed. Like, if he was really mad, about it, he would have said something to Cody, but he was giving him a prop. I think they're trying to do the same thing with this TKO WWE feud that I could see be set up after WrestleMania 42. I think everyone's on board with it, but they're going to act out like they're not. So, yeah, and I think the way that Pat McAfee and Randy Orton fit into this is simple. Randy wins the title at WrestleMania 42 with Pat's helmet, and then Cody's like, I want Pat McAfee at Backlash. And then that's where fellow Happiness Fighter Army member and board member of TKO, the final boss, The Rock, returns, setting up for SummerSlam, Cody versus The Rock. I'm calling it. And in this time period, The Rock forms a fraction of power like the Corporation and Authority back in the day, and some members could be himself, his Uso, Roman, Randy, Pat McAfee, Seth freaking Rollins even, and Becky Lynch also, I think, be in this fraction that I could see happening. And they use the power to cause chaos and dethrone things and go after the people that really ruined the company, like CM Punk, Cody Rhodes. You could also put in that fraction, I was talking about Drew McIntyre as well. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, like, anyone that's been injustice or screwed over when left off the board could join this fraction, and they could go after people that have been taking the spotlight. So that's why I think Randy's going to win at WrestleMania 42 Night 1 main event. And let me know in the comments if you're thinking the same way I am, or if not, do you see this fraction that I can see happening, coming to fruition? And even with this fraction, like, it doesn't have to be The Rock, it could be Shane McMahon, because a couple of weeks ago we had Stephanie warning Cody, so she could be on one side, Shane could be on the other, have kids. If it's Vince McMahon that comes out that is like pulling Pat McAfee's, we'll say, strings in this case, I will be pissed. He's had his time, it's time for him to retire. Shane, I have no problem with, even The Rock. But yeah, if it's Vince trying to wheeze his way, no. But yeah, that's why I think it's going to be Randy Orton winning that match. So yeah, that is night 1, done and dusted. And okay, now we move on to night 2 of WrestleMania. Now in the first hour, we have the 6-man ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship between Penta, JD Mandela, Javon Evans, Bouncy King as I like to call him, Dragon Lee, Rusev, and as of 2 weeks ago, the Hall of Famer, Rey Mysterio. I'm going to say there's going to be some high-flying move. I reckon Javon Evans is going to do some sort of bouncy high-flying move off the ladder. And I don't know, I've got some people that could be. It's either going to be, in my eye, I reckon it's going to be either Penta retains or Javon Evans finally gets his first title in WWE. Now we move on to the next match in that first hour, and that is the Beast, Brock Lesnar, versus the Ruler, Oba Fett. I am actually looking forward to this match. I really want to see Oba just dethrone the Beast. I would have loved to see like a triple threat. Now, good to hear, but I'll take what I get. But yeah, I'm going the Ruler. After this week's Raw, I feel like he's going to dethrone the Beast. And then Paul Heyman's going to be like, well, that offer's still on the table if you want it. Now we are going to move on to The Demon, Finn Balor versus Dirty Dominic Mysterio. Now, I would love to see these two in that ladder match, but I get why they made a separate match between these two. And I actually really can't pick between these two. It could go either way in my eyes. But I really am loving to see that Demon Finn's coming back. It's going to be epic. That's what I'm going to say. Now we're going to move on to the United States Championship match between Sami Zayn and Trick Williams. Now, I get why they made this match so then Trick Williams can have a match for WrestleMania. I really do. But I just not really interested in this match because Sami's going to retain in my eyes. And I want Sami Zayn to win the top title. So WWE make that freaking happen. And yeah. And the way that Sami's going to win this is that Carmella Hayes is going to get involved somehow. And then it's going to screw Trick over. And then they'll set up Trick versus Carmella rivalry again. Which, as someone that watched it on NXT, I cannot wait to see on the main shows how they play that out. So yeah. Then we are going to talk about the WWE Women's Championship match between Jade Cargill and Rhea Bloody Ripley. I'm sorry, Jade's title run is done at WrestleMania. Rhea Bloody Ripley, fellow Happiness Fight Army member, is taking that title home. With what Jade has put her through these past month and couple of weeks, there's no way Rhea is not winning at WrestleMania for this title. And then we can move her to finally SmackDown and she's going to shine there better. And I cannot wait. Now, if Mia Chin and B-Fab are better by then, I could see them interjecting themselves into this match somehow. But then we could also have Io interject herself into this match, saying she has no match at WrestleMania to help out Rhea. But then the numbers are uneven, right? Wrong. We have the return of the EST Bianca Belair. And she takes down Jade. And screws her out of the title. Setting up an epic Backlash match between Jade and Bianca at Backlash. I just feel like that's the direction they're going to go. It doesn't have to be like she makes a surprise return sort of thing. She could be the special guest referee for this match even. But I feel like if Bianca is 100% ready by Mania, that this is going to happen. I feel it in my bones. But there's also another storyline they could play out here. And that is that Zoe Stark returns at WrestleMania and helps Rhea win the title, but then attacks Rhea after the match, setting up a Backlash storyline championship match for Backlash between her and Rhea. Because who took out Zoe Stark all those months ago, even a year ago? Rhea Ripley. So it would make sense in my eyes. If that happens, I will be happy. Like, I won't be happy that Rhea gets injured and attacked, but I feel like I will be happy to see Zoe Stark return in that sort of way. And then Zoe could shine on SmackDown. But yeah, it's either Bianca Belair helps Rhea win, Zoe Stark helps Rhea win, or Rhea just wins on her own. But either way, Rhea's winning in my eyes. And as a South Australian, I cannot wait. Yeah. Now we move on to the last match of WrestleMania, which I think should have been night one's main event. And that is CM Punk versus my tribal chief, Roman Reigns, for the World Heavyweight Championship. There is no way Roman is not winning at Mania. I'm sorry. And I really just don't want do not want Punk as champion anymore. And this could play into that faction storyline as well, because you could have the final boss fella having this fight. I remember The Rock return in this match if he doesn't return in the Cody match. And his Uso win by using his powers on being on the TKO book. But what would shock everyone, and I don't think this is going to happen, but if it does, it will shock me too, is if the final boss, The Rock, screws his Uso. Because where's Backlash? Tampa, Florida. Where's Roman from? Tampa, Florida. So, yeah, I think we are going to see a return of The Rock and the final boss at WrestleMania, and I cannot wait. But yeah, Roman could also win this on his own as well. Either way, Roman's taking that title home and gonna start the epic, great Tribal Chief Run 2.0 after WrestleMania. And I cannot wait. And yeah, so there are my predictions and thoughts about all matches to do with WWE WrestleMania 42. Now, any surprise elements or shock returns I haven't mentioned? Firstly, we have the host, the GOAT himself, Mr. 17, John Cena as host. So that could also play into the final boss, The Rock's return as well, because we never got that, oh, you sold your soul to me, now you're turning your back on me moment between John Cena and The Rock. So that could be epic. Also, I think we could have a Danhausen and John Cena moment, like a funny in-between moment between those two as well. And yeah, Cena's going to be a great host in my eyes. Another thing I think that will be announced is the launch date of Club WWE, which I've already signed up for and I'm on the waiting list, and how much the membership fee is going to be. I know money is tight and I say I'm going to save it, but I don't care. No matter how much that membership fee is, which I'm hoping is like 1 year payment or at least a minimum $50 a month, something like that, I will pay it, because this Club WWE will be a stepping stone in helping me in my fight for the Ultimate Dream Championship, meaning fellow happiness fighter. I remember big time Becky Lynch in the future. So if you haven't signed up, go sign up. WWE has not paid me to do this, by the way, or whoever is running Club WWE. I'm just helping getting the word out there, basically. Also, I think we're going to have an announcement of when maybe Survivor Series will be. And I will lose my mind if it is on November 1st or that weekend. Because a couple of weeks ago, I had a dream that some WWE event was coming back to Australia and it was on November 1st. And I was like excited and I booked my flights and I was ready to go, and then I woke up. So I could see them doing Survivor Series War Games down under. It would really work. Especially as we've only got a certain amount of PLEs before the end of the year and they're still in their 3-year contract with Australia to come down here one more time. So, yeah. Also, I think we are going to get an announcement of a relocation of WrestleMania 43 as well. Now that the war is happening and Saudi being part of that war area, well, not allies or they, but being in the crossfire, we'll say, I think WrestleMania is going to get relocated, and I would love it in Australia. That would be awesome. And if that happens, then I will focus on fighting to be at that WrestleMania and not go to a WWE event this year. But yeah, I think they're going to relocate it. Like I said, we love it in Australia, my home country. But some other places I would be okay with it being at is New Orleans, since it was originally announced going to be in New Orleans before Saudi bought it out. London, that would be a really good place to have it. I'd like to see somewhere international, because we haven't really had any international WrestleManias much, so. But I understand if they do New Orleans, so. But, yeah. One thing I want to say also in this surprise roundup, if I see Donald Trump at WrestleMania and they pan him and they're like, look who's in the audience, the US President Donald Trump, I will crush out. I am sorry. That guy does not deserve to be at WrestleMania. He should be focusing on his country, not being at a WWE event. So, yeah. So, yeah, they're my thoughts and predictions for WrestleMania 42. Now, let me know in the comments any of your thoughts for WrestleMania 42. Who's going to win? What's going to happen? Surprise returns, surprise announcements, anything and everything WrestleMania 42. And yeah, I hope you guys are having a better day than I am, feeling much better than I am. And if not, I'm sending good, happy, healthy hugs your way.